everybody. Today is Saturday, June 28th, 2025. Welcome to another DMVCBN Comic Book Club. Shout out to all returning viewers and subscribers. And if you're new to the channel, welcome. We're here to discuss comics and related media, new and old, print and digital, books, TV, and film. We'll take turns sharing our media recommendations, news, and other items, and we'll try to avoid spoilers unless we announce otherwise. So first, let's introduce ourselves. I'm your host, Freddy, aka the DMV Comic Book Nerd. I'm 36 years old, and I'm from Washington, D.C. Claude, you want to go next?
Yeah, I am Claude, aka curlyinsaneguy. I'm from Washington State and I'm 33 years old.
All right, so let's get into this. It's June. It's been a very busy month for me. How's June been treating you so far?
Also kind of busy trying to figure out stuff for an upcoming move at the very beginning of July. So yeah, little bit busy. Had to take care of a bunch of like family stuff this month too. So it's just yeah, it's nice to be able to just sit and chat comics for a little bit.
Absolutely. And on the comic book front, like first let me say happy Pride, everyone. Happy Pride. Um, I mean, it's not the happiest pride because we're being attacked in America by the government, but that's a whole nother story. Um, and let me just say a quick disclaimer, we might talk about political things on this podcast, but comic books have always been political. Jack Kirby was punching Nazis in the face, served in World War II, so deal with it.
Right? It's part of the makeup of comics.
Exactly.
Um, really any creative endeavor is going to be like, yeah, colored by what is going on around you. So,
And we might not agree with everything each other says or everything we hear on the internet, but we're gonna have the discussion. We're here to, just be ourselves and speak what's on our minds. And you're welcome to join us on future ones. So if you're watching this, feel free to check out the show notes for information about that. All right. So, like I said, it's Pride Month, and let's get started with talking about the Pride comics that came out this month. I guess we'll start with DC Pride. Okay. Uh, this was the first collection that came out this month. Um, 9.99 cover price. But it's a nice thick book. I think it's like 80 or something pages. Um, and this year was interesting because usually they've been doing anthologies, but now it's like just a story that runs all the way through. So I know you got to read that one too. What do you think about that, Claude?
I did. I really liked it. I like that you got a bunch of different creative teams to get to do those different parts, and it made sense of why it would be different between each page. I'm gonna forget the character's name now, is traveling through the different dreams. And yeah, they did a really solid job. The through line was very clear. So it really did feel like it was kind of written by one person, but like you kind of got a little bit of each creative team's vibe in there too. So really well realized. I don't know why I chose that difficult collection of words to use, but yeah, really good stuff. I do like DC's anthologies in general. So like a one time where it's one connected story, I think is cool. But I do like whenever it's split stories. And yeah, but this is a cool experiment, and I think it worked out really well for them.
Agreed. Yeah, I think so. I think the main character, his name was Ethan. I think he's a new character.
Yeah.
Or they like I think Ethan's a trans character. So that was pretty cool to see this character get to kind of meet all the other LGBTQ characters in the DC universe, and they're all kind of gathering at this gay club in the DC universe. And Alan Scott is there with Ethan, and also the question is there, but Alan Scott in particular, this whole story kind of like comes out of something, an experience that he had in the past. So, um, yeah, I definitely recommend this book. And um, and I also just want to mention that today, June 28th, is Stonewall Day. It's the 56th anniversary of the Stonewall Uprising. Um, and I want you guys, if you don't know too much about that, look up, research some history about that. Um, like it was a rebellion. It was a response to police out who were attacking the queer people at the bar, and you had trans people like Marsha P. Johnson and Sylvia Rivera out there on the front lines, and we just have to kind of like know that history because yeah, in these times, stuff like this we can't take it for granted. Like I was really excited to get this book and also the Marvel book. We're gonna talk about that next, um but just yesterday I saw that the Supreme Court is saying that books with LGBTQ themes or characters are not allowed in schools. Like parents have a right to opt out of that, whatever that means. I'm like, you've always had a right to opt out of it. You
Not
don't,
right. If you just don't pick it up, then you
yeah, you
won't
don't
have
have to
it.
read the book. But now they're
Um,
trying to basically it's a book banning and it's an excuse to take even further action against the LGBTQ community. And it's unacceptable. And I think we should all be outraged, but here we are.
yeah. Oh, I wanted to ask for that for DC Pride, were there any specific characters you were really like excited to see in it or looking forward to the most, like favorite characters that made appearances?
Well, I'm going to be honest because, as a black LGBTQ person, identify as queer. Um, I was looking for that specifically because when you look on the cover, there's only one
Yeah.
black person, or maybe two if you count, what's his name? Connor? No, is that his name?
Yeah, yeah, Connor Hawk.
Connor Hawk, yeah. But I was talking about Joe. She's like the main
Joe,
black
yeah.
queer person on there. And then, and we're all kind of under the cape or under the shadow of Alan Scott, which as far as representation goes, I feel like it's an interesting choice. But I'm not going to speak too much about that. But to answer your question though, um, I think the panel that I thought was just the most interesting was joking it on with Nubia. I was like,
Hey,
whoa!
yeah, I was about to say that was,
I was like,
they
what is
let them
going
have a
on?
moment for
Because as far
sure.
as I knew, I was like, I don't know if those two have ever even met.
I did, yeah. I think they even said like this was kind of just like a fantasy thing because they
Yeah,
had
so
met, but
spoiler,
like
a
it's
quick
never
spoiler.
gone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was kind of like a
But
fantasy
maybe, yeah, maybe
sequence for
that's an
Joe.
upcoming relationship
It
that's gonna
could
happen
be like
though.
who
Like
knows? Like I was like that was the steamiest moment of the book, and I was
I
like,
was surprised that they like let it go as far as it did in the book too. I was like,
yeah,
okay,
yeah.
yeah, that's a
I was
choice.
really. I mean, I think Nubia. I think is I like Nubia. I think that was the one I was the most interested to
I need to
see.
read more Nubia.
Yeah,
That's
if
I
you haven't,
definitely need to.
she has a mini series that Stephanie Williams did um a year or two ago, maybe even three now. I don't know, but
Comics time is so
right.
fast sometimes.
But yeah, it's like I love Nubia because she again adds to the intersectionality of DC and particularly the Amazons. And it welcomed. It showed that the Mascara is a place that you know all sisters are welcome, even trans sisters. Like everyone who's a sister is welcome. Okay, you and
Yeah.
I might not be welcome on Themyscira, but that's
Hey,
okay.
that's fine. That's fine, you
Yeah,
know?
that's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Everyone needs their own safe spaces.
Exactly. Like, yeah, I think it's really good.
Um, all right. Did you have a favorite character that you like seeing?
I knew the question was going to be in it, and
Oh, I love the
I really
question.
love I really like yeah, I've read Question all along the Watchtower recently, and I'm like I really
Yeah.
enjoy this character. She's always been kind of like a side favorite, and then Batwoman is also up
Hmm.
there. So yeah, that's basically who I was. But I was delighted to see Bunker show up again too. So that was
Yeah,
cool.
that was cool. I I I really like I'm sorry, I was gonna piggyback off of what you just said. Um Before you talked about the question, I really like that Renee Montoya is back to being the question
Yeah.
because that's my favorite version of Renee. Like I don't particularly like Cop Renee. Uh
Yeah,
but
no, that's fair. I like detective,
mhm,
and just kind of all around badass Renee.
yeah. All right, so shall we talk about Marvel United, a Pride special, number one? I couldn't resist getting both covers. Here they are. So I got the A cover by Lucas Wernick, and I also got um the variant by
Yeah,
Luciano Vecchio.
I've
Like,
seen that variant the most out of any of the covers, I think, actually. People were really, yeah, sharing that one around. I have not read this one yet. I don't know if it's available on digital, but it's, yeah, I made it out to the shop one time this month, pretty much. And yeah, I did not grab that one.
so let's talk about that real quick because I think that from what I've noticed is that DC Universe Infinite they kind of release special things like the
Early,
day of
yeah,
or the next day. Like
yeah.
this
Even
like
their
they
normal releases are like faster, but yeah, when they
yeah.
do a special, it pops up early. I was,
Hmm.
yeah, noticing that trend as well, because whenever I Know What You Did Last Crisis, another anthology they did, came out. It was the week that it released. So yeah, I got to read the Pride special like immediately.
And so did the Power Company special they did for Black History Month. Like that
That's
came out like
true.
next day. I like that when they release like I have special releases like, day
Yeah,
of or
they'll do
next
like
day.
the first issue of series like that every once in a while too. Whenever is
Something
it
big.
Plastic Man No More? That one, it was yeah, same week, and then after that, it went back to a staggered release. But
Mhm.
yeah, for special ones, I think it's a great way to like have people invest early.
Yep. So they have special releases. They have the ultra tier where you can get things 1 month behind. And then they have the regular tier. I don't even know how many months
I
that's
think
behind.
that
Is that
was
three?
three. I think it's three.
And
Yeah.
so that's the same as Marvel. Marvel is three behind, and they're pretty consistent with that. Um,
Kind
so
of wish
I don't,
Marvel had a 1 month option, but
right. Yeah, like I don't think Marvel has this Pride special up yet. But they should. But but I get that there's still an ongoing kind of uh debate about, is streaming going to undercut the
yeah,
physical
the
business?
digital releases,
Mhm.
yeah. I think one cool thing is like the variant covers are something you do only get if you go to the stores. Like
See, I wish they would put the variant covers on
if they, yeah, if they showed
digital.
them, it would be nice. But I'm like, you know what? If that's what it takes to like
Yeah,
make people buy
incentivize.
physical, then yeah, I think it's still good.
I mean, you saw me. I got two copies. I couldn't
It
resist.
works. Yeah, I got variant covers,
They get me more often than I'd like
got
to
one
admit.
variant cover. Yeah.
But I like to think I'm like very, very careful about only getting like one copy, but I'm really not.
Look, you got to do what you got to do. Sometimes
Yeah.
there's just a stellar artist. I only get one, even if it means my collection's not gonna match. Like it'll
Hmm.
be like all of the A covers, but one C cover that I like. I
Hmm.
don't mind.
Yeah.
I'm like, I
Yeah,
got the
sometimes,
book. Yeah,
yeah,
and it's a
sometimes I
great
just pick the
cover.
one I like the best
Yeah.
too. But all right, so I won't spoil anything about this issue. I will just say real quickly, definitely read it when you get the chance. This one is more in the anthology style that they've been doing. I think there's about four or five main stories. Sadly, this book does not feature everyone that's on this cover. Like,
I don't like that.
yeah, like that's always kind of like an annoying thing. But at least it's a beautiful cover. Like, I mean, I really do like the cover,
Yeah, at
but
the very least.
and I do like the characters featured on it. I just wish that they would have then put all those characters in the book. Um,
Did I see Hercules on the cover?
yeah, Hercules
Was
is on
he
the
in there?
cover. He is not really featured in the
Boo.
book. He might have a cameo somewhere, not
Yeah,
really
background
anything worth
shots.
mentioning. But the main characters from this cover who are in the book are going to be Captain America of the Railways. You've got Escapade from the X-Men, and you've got oh, actually they're both on Avengers Academy right now.
Yeah.
And then you've got Black Cat. She has a storyline.
Oh, nice.
She's kind of hanging out with I think her name is Sarah from like the Angela and Thor kind of stories.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I know who you're
And
talking about. That's cool.
and I think that's about it. Like I mean, there are lots of characters featured in this book. Another one is Arnie Roth, like a classic queer character created by J.M. DeMatteis way back in the day. So,
Yeah.
and there's a whole like article where he talks about that. So that's pretty cool. Um, what else? If I oh, Loki is featured. Mystique is prominently featured, which is interesting. I think last year Mystique in Destiny's Wedding was like the main Pride offering.
Yeah.
So like this is kind of like a, I guess you could say a follow-up. It's a little bit controversial in terms of like X-Men fandom because Mystique, not to spoil anything, I just think she's just kind of embracing her motherhood a bit more than she would have in the past.
Okay, yeah,
It's all of it is explained in the storyline. It's none of it is really like retconning anything, although it might
yeah.
seem like it. So just prepare yourself if you're a Mystique fan.
Okay, I'm not a big Mystique fan, so I probably, yeah, I feel like her characterization really has been all over the place. So this seems kind of par for the course yeah.
And honestly, that's I think that is due to the fact that Mystique, I feel like writers and artists in Marvel have not always acknowledged her queerness.
Yeah,
So I feel like, you for a long time you had Claremont who created Mystique and Destiny and kind of set the template and definitely gave them queer subtext. But then over time, you know, that went away, and then recently it came back in a big way, and it's kind of like it really does impact Mystique's character. It gives her more
yeah.
depth, I think. Um, so I guess, yeah, I definitely recommend both Pride issues because, like I said, queer media is under attack. Queer people are under attack right now. We gotta do what we can to support. Like, I'll say for real, like this year has been the biggest. Like it's been the biggest Pride celebration for me. Like this is the most loud I've been about celebrating Pride, which is kind of both good and bad because it's been a great experience, but at the same time, uh, there's just so many negative things that I see on the daily, and it's just kind of frustrating. I'm 36 years old. It does kind of feel like when you're queer, a lot of times you have to wait until you're an adult to really live your life, or you have to really kind of wait until you can, have some freedom. Whereas when you're not queer, you might not have that same problem. So, um, yeah, as someone who's my age, I definitely want to like give young queer people the hope that, they can grow up and live full lives. And I think that these stories are also encouraging them because like I didn't have stories like this when I was a kid. Like there were like I was looking back and I remember in most media at the time when I was young, gay gay stuff was a joke. Gay was used in a derogatory way. Like,
Yep.
in high school, all the time people would be like, "That's gay," and they would mean it in like a really hateful way.
Yeah.
And so, I think you know civil rights they go they up and down as far as in the at least in this country. But yeah, I just definitely want to vocally show my support and also kind of encourage people to kind of get on board with support because like there is support in America and in the world. Like right now, I think 35,000 people are protesting in Hungary because their dictator Orban is like, no gay pride parades this year, but 35,000 people are showing up anyway. So stuff like that. Like people are out here living their lives and being just trying to show love. And I think we gotta support that. That's all I'm gonna say. All right. Would you like to pick the next book, Claude?
Yeah, I'll pick one I know we both read or we both picked up. I don't know if you got a chance to read it yet, but under the One World New World Under Doom banner or One World Under Doom banner, Runaways. Oh, there's a big
Yeah.
glare on it.
I've got
I
mine too.
loved Rainbow Rowell's last Runaway run.
Yeah.
You got a really
Woo!
cool cover for it.
I couldn't resist it. And I put a little sticker on there.
I saw that. I almost got the wraparound one as well. Actually, I think almost all of them did it, but in mine you can't really. No, this one doesn't wrap around. But yeah, I really loved the run and where it left off was kind of like, okay, like there should clearly be more story here with the last run ended with like Chase
So no,
dying.
no spoilers for me because I haven't
Oh,
finished
you
that
haven't run
run.
that run? Oh, you
Shamefully,
gotta check it out.
I really enjoyed what I did read. I read about maybe half of it, but
I
it's been on my list of to read, and I haven't
Gotcha.
really.
I think the author has done such a good job of like humanizing these characters. Like they
Yeah.
feel the most real of almost any comic
And
people.
getting
Like,
to the core of like, why the Runaways works because like you
and it's
have
so wholesome. Like you
yeah,
think this
yeah.
group like
They're
all
found
loves each other,
family for
and it's
sure.
shown so well in it. I'm a big Chase Stein fan.
Hmm.
Last year I went and read every appearance of Chase Stein because I was like, I want to dig into this character and learn about him. So I did, and then yeah, I was really like, okay, what's next for him? And that's why I picked this
Yeah.
one up to see if he would show up or anything
Oh
like
yeah, in a big
appearances.
way.
Yeah, so I was like, yeah, let's go.
See, like I'm an OG fan. I remember picking up the original series back when Brian K. Vaughan and Adrian Alphona was on it, and
Mhm.
I've been following the Runaways ever since. And like after they left, it kind of did kind of have kind of fits and starts. They were not sure of their place in the
Yeah, or
Marvel
like
universe.
splitting them into different teams,
Hmm.
like, oh, we'll try to use them for this or that. And yeah, I just like
And
them
uh,
together. I think it works.
and like you said, I think the Rainbow Rowell run definitely kind of refocused what Runaways is, and that was around the time of the new series too. So I think that helped. Like I actually just rewatched the entire series
Oh,
with my
really?
boyfriend. Like we had a good time. We went through all three seasons.
I think I only watched I didn't even finish the first season of it just
Oh no,
scheduling and like
yeah,
how it released, I think was a little weird, or
yeah, and it
maybe it
was
was
on
on a
Hulu.
I think it was on a service I stopped using, so I
It
just kind of lost it.
Yeah, it was originally a Hulu show, but now it's on the CW app. So so we had to watch
Okay.
it with commercials and everything, which we're a
Wow.
little spoiled because we liked like Disney Plus and stuff without commercials. But anyway, that's another topic. Um, but yeah, I definitely recommend it because I actually really like the show. I think that they also did a good job of like zooming in on what makes the Runaways cool and also expanding that because you have more with the parents and like you have a lot of drama and intrigue and sci-fi stuff. And
Yeah, they kind of stretched out the beginning of the story a little more.
mm-hmm.
From what I was seeing. I don't know how long it ended up going because I dipped out early, but
It's three seasons and I do recommend it if you get a chance.
cool.
All right, but yeah, this book looks like it's some exciting stuff coming up. I do want to say like it's a little like I do always feel a little weird about the character Alex because again like like I want to root for him because he's black, but then also he's really kind of villainous most of the time. So like, but also
Yeah.
he's not. But then Rainbow Rowell was like, maybe he's like a little of an anti-hero. I don't know, but he's not in this issue. But I feel like he might show up
I
before
think
this is
he
all said
will.
and done.
I feel like they can't let a run go without like let's talk about him at the very least. If he
Yeah,
doesn't appear, we're still gonna study the character in some way.
yeah. I think he brings something interesting to the story, and he's one of the OG characters. So I think I want to see that before this is all said and done.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, it's interesting that it's under the One World Under Doom banner because
I think it's
um.
just yeah, everything coming out kind of
Mhm,
is.
mhm. And
And it does actually like come into it, but I hope it keeps going after. Like I hope this isn't a One World Under Doom mini series basically. Like I want it to keep going after. I haven't looked into if it's going to be an ongoing, but
I think it's just a mini series, but if it's ongoing, I would be very pleased. I would try to
me too.
support it. I think that it's not a spoiler to say that the character Victor Mancha, who came in after Alex, is like related to Doom, isn't he? Like he's like a Doom bot, or
He's related to Ultron.
he's related to Ultron, but then they
Yeah.
got a Doombot friend later on. Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
Doombot is yeah, one of the Runaways kind of now.
Hmm.
Yeah,
So
who I
that's the
think
connection
started in
there.
Avengers AI that
Yeah, yeah.
series and then yeah, I don't know. Actually don't remember how he ended up getting involved with I think it's through Victor that he ended up
Hmm.
with the Runaways.
Yeah, yeah.
Pretty interesting character.
So also I'll admit like I'm actually catching up on the One Roll Under Doom stuff. Last time we talked I hadn't read any of it, but this time I have. Like I read that Thunderbolts issue that you
Oh,
mentioned
the
last time.
Doomstrike?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
it was good. Like it was heavy. I was like, "Whoa." Uh
Yeah.
Not to change topics too much, but yeah. Do you want to talk any more about these Doom books?
Not Doom, but I did have another Marvel that I read. I don't know if you have checked out at all Imperial.
Okay, so yes, I did get to read
Oh, did
Imperial.
you? What
Yeah.
did you think of it?
Um, well, since you asked,
Uh-oh.
no,
I'm ready.
like if I'm being just fully honest, like I'm at a period where I am not as in love with Jonathan Hickman as I think most
A
of
lot of
the
people
fan
are,
base
yeah.
is. Like, I guess I might be a little bit bitter out of after Krakoa and everything. Like, I will give Jonathan Hickman his props. Like, he is one of like the best-selling writers. Very creative. He's done legendary runs on Fantastic Four, Avengers, and X-Men. So that right there is like the EGOT of
That's true.
Marvel
That's
Comics.
true.
So like, I'll put respect on his name. But I guess my thing is just that I didn't like the way he kind of bowed out of the Krakoa stories. I mean, maybe it was for the best, but I also don't like the way he's spoken about it in interviews
Since,
since.
yeah.
Because he kind of says stuff like, you know, it would have been great if I had got to finish it, and like if I had gotten to tell my story the way I wanted to do it. It's like, and it seems to kind of like not show respect for all the other artists
So,
and the writers who put their input into it.
that's
And
fair. That's fair.
and on top of that, like now I just feel like he's been very kind of all over the place because he brought back the Ultimate Universe, but I feel like he's not that present.
Yeah,
Like
because
he's doing,
it's billed as like, oh, like Hickman brought back but Denise Camp is doing most
yeah,
of the
Denise
work
Camp
on
is
that,
doing the
and
brunt
then
work.
everyone else is kind of very on their own. Like Peach Momoko is doing her thing,
Hmm.
which feels very insular, and then Hickman's really only doing Spider-Man, and I think he's doing
Exactly.
great with it, but it doesn't feel like he's steering the ship, even though it's all like kind of resting on his name.
Right. So like that could be good or bad. Like maybe he's being collaborative. Maybe that's a good thing, or maybe he's just taking all the credit. I don't know. But I think that there is a chance that he might, come back in a big way and kind of steer the ship because it seems like there's been news just recently about like, is the Ultimate Universe going to end again? Like, there have been rumors, there have been some of the writers chiming in about like this all along. There's been this countdown to when the Maker comes back. So it's like, what is this all leading towards? I feel like Hickman has not given me a clear sense of what this is leading towards, and I don't trust him to stay to the end. So that's why,
That's
again, I'm
true.
kind of
Like it
like
is one of
burnt
those
out on
things
him.
where you really have to stick the landing. If everything has been a countdown to this one thing, it's like, is that going to pay off? Because if not, all that time is going to feel really like wasted,
And
or
he's been
not
doing all this
utilized
other
properly.
stuff, Wolverine Revenge. He's been doing the Aliens versus Avengers. Like he's been doing other things and maybe some create your own stuff as well. And like, I mean, that's great. I encourage creativity. I'm just like, but if you're gonna like steer a ship, you like can we get to the end of it? Like
Yeah,
so
well, if yeah, it feels like it was supposed to be like Jonathan Hickman's imprint, basically. Like Universe was gonna, or Ultimate Universe was gonna be all him, but it doesn't really feel like it. It just feels like another universe that spun off, not like a imprint, which is how I was imagining it when it first got announced.
so with Imperial, I feel like here we go again. Like Jonathan Hickman is being the architect of Marvel space basically right now, and maybe he has some cool ideas, or maybe it'll go somewhere.
I think he's just kicking it off again. I think he's just like, okay, we're gonna restructure this way and maybe set up some books that are run for a little bit. But I don't think it's meant to be like a big lasting change. I think this is a splash of like, let's reset some stuff, change some alliances around, and then let people play with the Marvel Cosmic. I really liked Imperial. The issue one, at least, I thought was really solid. The only thing that bugs me really about it, aside from the price tag, because man, but is Hulk's place in it because I really like the current Hulk run, and I'm like, wait, what's happening here? I'm
Yeah,
behind on the Hulk run, but I'm like, it's not over yet, so I
it's
don't.
definitely going back to the Planet Hulk stuff. I did read the Planet Hulk stuff, but I'm not caught up on current Hulk, so I don't really know how
Very
much of a
different
regression
vibes.
it is.
Yeah, so I don't know. I just think it's a weird thing to square continuity wise since this is supposed to be like a big here's a big important thing for the universe. I'm like, well, what does that mean for the person writing his ongoing right now? Like this seems like a big shift. So we'll see how it goes. Again, I'm since I am behind on Hulk, I might have missed a good point for him to jump over into space. But yeah, I don't know.
And I'll say that, in general, I'm just not the biggest fan of Marvel space books. Um, like there's a few that I've enjoyed here and there, but overall, I'm more like I like the stuff that's happening down on Earth.
Gotcha.
Um, and I am kind of curious about what's going on with Charles Xavier and the Shi'ar. I might follow that line of it, but the rest of it, I could give or take.
I really liked Annihilation when that one came out, so like kind of a slight return to that form and having a lot of focus on Nova. I'm like, okay, I can get behind this. I'll probably pick up Nova's Imperial series. That's gonna come out of this. I think it's just gonna be a four-issue thing, but I'm like, yes, more of him, please. And yeah, so I'm digging it. I'm looking forward to more of it. But yeah, it is one of those things where I'm like, I don't know if he is capable of playing nice with other people's continuities, really. Like, I think
Yeah,
he'll just kind of do his own thing and
yeah,
hope everyone else falls into place.
yeah.
Like,
I've heard some complaints already about how like where Hickman has put these characters is not where they were last left, and a lot of the characters in it. But I wouldn't know because I haven't been following all these characters that closely.
that's
Um,
fair.
I do think it's kind of funny that Nova, his name is Dick Ryder, but he's not queer.
Well, I think he's bisexual,
Oh, is he
right?
bisexual now? I think
They've they've heavily implied that like his camaraderie with Star-Lord is more than that.
I, I think
So
I
that
heard in the last Gal Guardians of the Galaxy run. Is that
yeah,
where?
there's and that was Al Ewing.
Mhm.
And it was kind of like yeah, Gamora, Gamora, Rich, Dick, and Star-Lord are like they
And
love
there,
each other.
and there
They
was a
that like
little.
romantically are into each other. Yeah.
And there was a little bit of queer energy in the Al Ewing's other book, X-Men Red, when he had Nova in there. So,
Oh, I didn't finish that one. I need to because I was really liking it. Plus, I was like,
yeah.
Nova, you got
hmm
everything I want in a series, which is Al Ewing and Nova.
I liked it. So I do recommend it. But I know there's so many books to read. So
There is.
um, honestly, do you want to pick the next one? I want to hear what's on your stack.
So I am. That's it for Marvel as far as things I've picked up recently. And a lot of my digital reading actually right now has shifted to DC. So that's the thing I picked up most recently. Was the new history of the DC universe by
Ooh-wee.
Mark Waid. Yeah, it is essentially a history textbook, and I love it. It's the
Yeah.
prettiest textbook I've seen in a long time, and it's a four-issue run. So we are one issue down. The cover is deliciously golden age, and there are a lot of options for alternate covers, but I went with the A cover because it's just too good.
Nice. Yeah, like I'm definitely excited to get into that. I haven't picked that up yet, but I hope I can get a copy because I I mean we love Mark Waid. Like who in the comic book fandom doesn't? Like he's been around so long. He's always doing
Just
great
iconic
books.
runs. Yeah.
hmm
Uh,
So
yeah, great if you're a big lore junkie, like if you're all about like, well, I want to know the exact like what happened or like
mhm.
and I've seen people point out they're like, yes, this is the official timeline until they decide to change it. But, at least as a reference point, I think it's really solid. And then in the back of the book, there's basically a bibliography of like where this information is coming from. So if you want to read those exact issues, you know which ones are like solidified, like heavy canon. And there are some surprising ones that I'm like, okay, so that wasn't outside of. Because some of the things that they are saying is definitely part of the history are things that I thought were kind of like not exactly canon. Yeah, I don't without giving away too much stuff. Uh, just yeah, some different runs that I'm like, okay, so we are saying that's officially a thing.
Yeah, sounds interesting. Like I gotta say, I really loved when Mark Waid did the history of the Marvel Universe back in 2019. He did this with Rodriguez. Javier Rodriguez. I can't say it.
Rodriguez.
Rodriguez. Thank you, Rodriguez on art, and it was great. Like I really love that. Like that's essential reading as well, I think,
Yeah, I need to
because
read that one too. I've never had as much trouble somehow with the Marvel continuity in my brain, but DC, I think New 52 messed me up so much where I'm like,
yeah,
I don't know anymore what's real.
yeah,
And
DC
they've said
has.
that it's all real and that sometimes it's not all real. So I feel lost, even though it's probably exactly as complex as Marvel's.
Well, DC definitely has had more resets over time, and Marvel has tried to be more straightforward, I think. Um, so yeah, it'll be interesting to see what Mark Wade does with it because, like, honestly, even what Mark Wade does is not going to be set in stone for the future. Like the next, I mean, we
Yeah.
already have the absolute universe. We already have, who knows what
I
the future's
wonder
going
if
to
that'll
bring.
show up in issue 4 of this, where he's like, also, because he has to catch up with current timeline eventually. So he'll be like, oh, by the way, Darkseid like exploded and made a new universe, kind of. If that's like the final page of the the fourth issue, I don't know.
And he's writing some of the like Justice League Unlimited. So like he's aware of what's going on there. So it's going to be interesting to see where all this
Yeah.
goes in the future. But
The other thing I really liked is he just points out a bunch of like the old Golden Age heroes, and you get this
mhm.
really, really amazing art of characters you don't get to see a lot. And I'm like, ah, now I really want all these characters to not maybe come back, but also just like let's get some flashback stories starring them. So maybe it'll inspire some new stories too, which I think would be a great use of this kind of tale.
Sounds good. Um, if you don't mind, I do just want to kind of like share a few other books I have just on my stack here. I won't spend too much time on them. Um, but uh, if you guys follow me on Threads and Blue Sky, I've been posting like a countdown of 7 comics for the 7 days leading up to this Zoom here. So some of the comics I highlighted were Avengers number 26. I got this cool Sam Wilson variant cover. Love it. So I'm finally catching up with the Avengers stuff. Good stuff. Like you got Sam Wilson and Black Panther and like all the other A-listers of Marvel. Why not read
Yeah,
it?
I don't know what it is. I have been really slow to pick up McKay's Avengers, but I love everything else he's done, so I just need to get in there and do it because yeah, his Black Cat, his Moon Knight, like
Yeah, Black
it's
Cat
all
just
really
featured in
solid.
there recently. Um,
Nice.
I think for you, I know that you like kind of more the offbeat characters, so
I do.
you might
Yeah,
not
that's
be
why I
as
don't
tuned into the
usually follow the big
A-listers.
teams.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's all right. Um, but another thing I picked up was Godzilla X-Men crossover. I really like this cover. Um, it was interesting. I don't know. I'm not the biggest Godzilla person. I think I've seen like maybe one movie, but it was interesting. I liked this little comic. It was not very it was very like in beginning reader friendly. Like if you've never read the X-Men or if you don't know anything about Godzilla, it's very new reader friendly and it's very classic. Like you have the very 90s X-Men team.
Out of continuity, I'm assuming. Like it's just
It
kind of
seems
its
to
own thing.
be.
Okay.
It's kind of
I wonder how
90s.
far they'll lead into it since like Godzilla's whole thing is like nuclear stuff. Like did
Mm.
one of his beams of breath cause the X-Men? Like I don't know.
Well,
I think it would be really funny.
they do lean into like what Godzilla and the X-Men and actually have in common. So that
Okay.
was kind of interesting.
Are we gonna get Godzilla in an X uniform is my question. Yellow spandex,
Maybe
Godzilla.
one day, who knows? Speaking of monsters and X-Men, I also have been reading the Giant Size X books that have been coming out lately. I got this one, Giant Size X-Men and Giant Size Dark Phoenix. So basically, these stories are just kind of inserting Kamala Khan into X-Men history. I mean, I like it. I
Okay,
know
I was
that,
wondering what you think about it. I keep joking about it. I haven't read it, but I was like, oh, it's letting Kamala Khan catch up on the trauma of being an X-Men, which is like a crash course of like you get to live through the event comics and learn,
yeah,
which is
like
cool. Like
it's
I
basically
could see a lot of people being mad about it.
a
So we'll
lot of
see.
people are mad about it. A lot of people hate on Kamala Khan for various reasons that most of them I don't think are legitimate. But basically, but I mean, I'll admit she is kind of like a Mary Sue like insert character in
Well,
this
literally in
storyline.
this case, an insert because yeah, she
But we
wasn't
love
part of these
her.
stories.
It's she and I just I mean it's X-Men's greatest hits. and Ms. Marvel. So what is for me? I'm like, what's there to complain about?
Well, it's a fun like creative exercise too, where it's like, how would
Yeah.
her involvement have changed these stories?
hmm
So
And
it's
plus the
just a what if. It's just a different type of
yeah,
villain. I think
it's
that's fine.
it's not actively changing the history. It's just like just having some fun with it. And it's got great art. Like I really love Adam Kubert. I've been a big fan of his forever. And then you've got Rod Reyes on the second one, and like his art is beautiful. Love that. So, I mean, so far so good.
The latest one was an Age of Apocalypse one that came out, right?
I think that came out this past week, so I
Okay.
have not got that one yet, but I'm
It
gonna keep
has
reading. Yeah.
some amazing variant covers. That was what caught me
Mm.
about that. It's got a bunch of Blink ones, and like she just looks fabulous on all of them. There's two Blink covers, and I'm like, I wouldn't be able to choose. I ended up not getting any because the books I picked this week were expensive. Imperial was a lot, and
hmm
then New History. So,
Gotcha.
but yeah, it looked good. It looked like a cool cover.
All right. Speaking of X-Men, gotta shout out Storm. You know, it's her 50th anniversary, so
Oh, okay,
so
nice.
I've been following her book and all the issues. Um, it's great. I'm so happy to have a good Storm book, solo book out. Like, read it. Everyone should be supporting this book.
I was with it, and it's still going, which is cool. I
Yeah,
always worry that like people they haven't taken a chance on having a solo book, they'll only like give the writer four issues, and they're like, "Sorry, it didn't take off as big as we want. It's done."
yeah,
So the fact that it's still going, I'm like, that probably means readership is solid, or and or they trust the creative team. So I'm like, that's really good.
yeah. The writer, Murewa Ayodele, um, he says in the back in the letters page of this book, he says, um, we are 9 issues deep. Um, in pitching this series, he was going to conclude his work in 10 issues. Then he updated it to 12 issues. And
Let's
then
go.
he submitted a third version that was 15 issues. And Tom Brevoort, the editor, simply ignored those numbers and focused on the story elements. So much later, we're like, we're just ongoing. Like, so,
That's
and
cool.
then he says, um, someone who wrote in said that they hope that he does 100 issues of Storm, and
That would
Murewa
be incredible.
Murewa took that in stride. And was like, yeah, like your support is really putting the fire in him to like really uh, continue this as long as possible. So that
That's
just goes to
awesome.
show how much fan support makes a difference.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at G. Willow Wilson's Poison Ivy run, that's like the one that, yeah, it was supposed to be like 6 issues or something, and it's going forever. I'm like, we can do that with Storm. That's fine.
So speaking of Storm, that same day I went to the comic book store. They had this lovely cover called "The World to Come." We had
Ah,
a Torin Clark um cover. This is a variant, and it's got Storm with her beautiful cloud hair looking resplendent. Don't you know that in this story, when I read it, they killed her? I was so mad. I was
oh no.
like,
Ah,
like,
wow.
and that's not the only thing to be mad about with this book. Like, this book has caused a lot of
It's
controversy.
true.
The World to Come.
It's getting eyes on it,
Yeah,
and I think
Christopher
it
Priest
knows.
and Joe Quesada, they're reigniting the Marvel Knights imprint of Marvel. This is mostly a Black Panther book, and there are Black Panther is like on the main cover, and then there's like a bunch of cool variants. But okay, so I'm sure everyone knows by now the big spoiler. I mean, it's not a spoiler now because everyone's been talking about it.
Yeah.
This story introduces a character who basically is fighting T'Challa for the throne. A white man who claims to be his son or seems to be his son. It's not quite clear yet because there's only been one issue and
I was
there's
about to
some
say it's
mystery
the
around it.
priest jumping back and forth in time kind of
hmm
thing. His
Yeah,
favorite.
yeah. So the character's name is Katema. Uh, Here we go. So like, that's kind of like the big shock of this issue. Um, Everybody's been talking about it. I have opinions.
Yeah, I knew you would. Just also because it's priest.
Yeah.
I was like, well, let's see what you think.
Okay, I'll try to keep these brief because we still have to talk about Ironheart. We will
We
get there,
do.
I'll
We
promise.
do.
But so what I'll say real quick is that Christopher Priest is another artist, another writer who deserves respect because not only is he one of the most famous black writers in comics. He also did a legendary run on Black Panther that, to this day, everyone needs to read if you're a fan of Black Panther. Like he brought in the Dora Milaje. He brought in the uh, oh man, I can't think of it right now, but like the team of the War Dogs. There's a name for them. Hatut Sarase, that's what it is. Um, and he established a lot of world building. He made T'Challa cool again in the 90s when T'Challa, he was more of a cult character prior to that. So, I mean, I definitely respect Christopher Priest as a writer. That said, sometimes writers like to fall into the trap of like shock value and, just writing things to shock readers and build up attention. I feel like that's what this is. Like maybe he has a larger goal as far as the story he wants to tell. That remains to be seen. But I think it does not meet the expectations of what a lot of Black Panther fans want in this moment, especially at this point in history. Like Black Panther fans have been through a lot. Like I myself consider myself a Black Panther fan who's like, we had a terrible run by John Ridley. We had the loss of Chadwick Boseman. Like it's been rough. Like so Black Panther does not even have a 616 series right now. There is the Ultimate Book, which is pretty decent, but like it's just kind of rough. So this book, you know, it might have some interesting things to say, but we'll have to wait and see. I don't know if I want to necessarily spend dollars on this book. Maybe I'll catch up on when it gets to
Yeah,
Marvel
I'm
Unlimited.
hoping what it is he did the opening that was like what and make everyone like pay attention and then actually have some good stuff to say. That would be cool. That would be one way to do it is just make a big splash at the start. I haven't picked this one up, but I have definitely heard the discourse about it
Yeah.
online.
Like there's a lot more that I could say. I don't want to get into it right now, but I'm sure it'll probably come back up in a future conversation.
I bet. I bet.
All right. I got one more book I just want to shine light on. Summer of Superman special. Uh, I don't even know when this came out. I think it came out maybe last month,
I don't know.
but it's summer right now, so I'm talking about it. I read it this
It's
month.
evergreen
Yeah,
for this season at
and it's
least.
it's about to be the summer of Superman. You got the movie coming out next week. I do love Superman. I know sometimes I talk about Superman in a way that people might not think I'm a fan, but I am. Like I have so many Superman comic books. I love Superman. I just feel like it might be a little too much Superman because how many books does he have right now? Five?
And then the team books, like he's on,
Yeah.
yeah, there's a lot
So
of Superman to be found.
so like there's no lack of Superman, but at least it's quality stuff. Like I do enjoy the various books. You got the Joshua Williamson book, you've got uh the Mark Wade has been on Action Comics on and off, and then also it features other writers and artists as well. And then you've got Absolute Superman, which is killing it. I love it.
Oh, love Absolute Superman.
Yeah,
That's my current Superman read.
it's great. That's one of my most look forward to things. And then so like and then like you said, he's in all the team books, Justice League and stuff. So like I mean, yeah, there's no lack of Superman, but big stuff is happening. I don't know if it's a spoiler to say that this issue features the wedding of Lana Lang and what's his name? John Henry Steele. Like so that's worth reading. Um Also you got Jorge Jimenez on the art. I mean, love his art.
Fantastic. Yeah.
Um oh, Dan Slott is the other writer. Now he's got his own new Superman book.
Yep.
So I did pick that up, but I haven't read it yet, so that's why it's not in the
I
mix.
haven't, yeah,
Um
I just got the preview on Free Comic Book Day and that was it.
so definitely a lot of interesting things happening, but like let's not overwhelm ourselves before the movie comes out.
Yeah, true. Yeah, because whenever characters get that much spotlight, like I'm currently a little doomed out and I know he's about to hit the big screen. So I'm like, let's not overdo any characters before.
Yeah. Like I heard our friend Joe and Muscles. Oh, hello.
That's Tiff.
So I overheard our friend Joe and Muscles in the multiverse, he said
Yeah.
that he was a little bit overfilled on FF content as we go into
Yeah, I think
July.
there is a danger of actually
Yeah.
overdoing it
Mm.
for sure.
And I get it for sure. Like I've definitely been actively kind of like lowering my FF content over the past year to kind of like be ready. Because I like
Yeah,
again, I like the
so that it's a
FF. I
new
just
thing
don't.
for you. Yeah,
Yeah, I
not
just
like,
haven't
oh,
been
I've
keeping
just
up.
read a ton. I get it.
That said, I did jump back into FF just last night because I was catching up on the One World Under Doom stuff, and that
Gotcha.
was
I
pretty
need to catch up on
interesting.
that. Yeah.
Like, have you read that tie-in to it? Like, there's
No, I don't think.
yeah, like the first issue that ties into World One World Under Doom. I think it's 29. It definitely
Okay.
contextualizes the story in a way that's very reflective of our world right now, of like how the FF are dealing with having someone who they hate, like their ultimate enemy,
Is the
be
leader of
in,
the,
yeah,
yeah,
and
of
like
the
just
world.
and but rather than like attacking him directly, this issue focused on what it's like living under that regime in
Yeah,
ways that
okay.
I can definitely relate to. I'm like, wow, okay. So, and it's also written by Ryan North, who is also doing the main
Yeah,
storyline.
and
So I
he's gonna get the relaunch too.
yeah, so
So that's cool.
I think that's cool. I think I like when a writer can kind of like expand the books in which they're talking about the
Yeah, because
themes.
if they brought in Doom, like One World Under Doom, and they took him from the current, almost said Final Fantasy. FF is gonna mess with me forever. Fantastic Four writer, if it was someone else that just grabbed Doom and started using him, that would feel really like weird and kind of disrespectful to that author. But the fact that he is in charge of the big Doom story and he's the FF writer, like, oh yeah, that makes sense. So good for Ryan North.
I mean, to your point, I just want to mention that that's what happened with Blood Hunt because Brian Hill was writing Blade, and then Jed McKay got to write Blood Hunt.
Blood Hunt.
But I mean, I liked Blood Hunt, and Brian Hill was still a part of it. He still got to tell. He had a tie-in book, and he had Blade books before and after. But I don't know all the behind the scenes stuff. I just know that, like you said, it is notable when a writer who's doing the ongoing work gets to write the events as well. Like it seems
Yeah,
like it seems
and
fair.
he's sticking around after it too. So yeah,
hmm
I guess we will just have more Ryan North. I'm trying to remember. I saw him. He was in a backup in a DC book recently, and I was like, oh, is Ryan North about to jump ship?
mm
But yeah, we'll see.
Well, we got writers and artists doing both. Like I saw Al Ewing made a comeback to Marvel recently after spending some time over at DC, and he's doing both companies. So some of them are freelance, I guess.
Doing a little everything. I'm trying to
All
remember
right.
which book he was in, but
Which Marvel or DC?
DC. I thought he was doing.
He was doing Metamorpho. He's doing the new Absolute Green Lantern.
Oh wait,
So
no, Ryan North I was talking about.
sorry. I thought you were talking about Al Ewing.
Yeah. Oh no, I do like that Ewing is kind of everywhere now. Um, yeah, it's
Yeah,
good stuff.
I don't
Oh,
know what North was doing.
He's gonna be doing the crypto book.
Oh,
That's
I
what it
did
is.
see that. Okay, thank you for bringing that
Yeah.
up. It's part of the Summer of Superman. Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, I know he was like, I saw him around somewhere.
Yeah, I was.
So I think they've been teasing it with like little crypto backups and yeah.
All right. Well, it's I. I want to let you decide. Do we have time to talk about Ironheart, or should we save that for
Uh,
another
I
day?
I don't want to not touch on it at all.
Should we
But
keep
we
it
are at
brief?
15 minutes. Yeah, we can try to keep it within these last 15. We'll probably have to expand it out though. Yeah.
All right. So like, I do want to just say real quick. Yeah, this is open, ongoing conversation. If you are enjoying our conversation and you want to join in next time, we need you to go to the link where the poll is to help us figure out what dates we're going to have the next one. Because like this is a collaborative thing. It's not just on my time. I want to make it a time convenient for everybody. So we usually do it on Saturdays. My goal has been to do this once a month, and thankfully so far, this year I've been consistent with that. But I'm open to doing it more than once a month, maybe because like it does seem to be hard to fit in shows, movies, and comics all into
Comics.
one
Yeah.
conversation.
Yeah, I wonder if we'll have to split it to like comics one week, all other media another week.
Hmm.
Maybe that'll work. I don't know, but I would definitely love to have this conversation, the Ironheart
Yeah,
one, with like
definitely.
more
More
people. I
time,
think
more
would be
people.
great.
So yeah, please give us your feedback. Please sign up. Like all you gotta do, like this is completely free. Hopefully it's not a big effort or a burden on you just to like, just come do
Hop
a
in and
Zoom.
yeah.
Yeah, come chat about some stuff that we're enjoying. Um, uh, I will shout out some of the other nerds in the space who are also hosting great chats about this. You can look up Black Girl Nerds. You can look up Vigilante Vibes. You can look up Blur Without Fear. You can look up. There's so many people in the space right now talking about Ironheart. I saw some more even.
I was
Uh,
about to say Fantastic Frankie chimed in
Fantastic
recently with
Frankie.
some good
Hmm.
stuff. Like, yeah.
So yeah, like I want to just really uh, you know shout everybody because like us in the nerd community, especially those of us who are black, I think we are trying to, support the show and like defend it from the unwarranted negative criticism. We talked a lot about this on our last DMV comic book club, but we're just continuing to see more of the unwarranted like negative review bombing that we've seen for other projects.
I think people, the worst of people have been really emboldened by current political climate to be like their worst self. And like, yeah, it's them. Um, And yeah, it's just really unfortunate that you go to any kind of social media post that has anything to do with a character that isn't a white lead, and it's just negativity all the way down. And there's always what bugs me is they will pull in other properties to like use as a weapon against it. Like people are like, "Oh, I didn't want Ironheart because I wanted the kid from Iron Man 3 to be the successor to Tony," and it's like it's not even about that. The
Or
big
Tony
one I'm
Stark's
seeing
daughter, as people
yeah,
normally people
the
throw
the
on there.
biggest one I'm seeing right now is people are like, "Oh, why did we get Ironheart when we could have gotten Moon Knight season 2?" Like that's their new cover is like, "Oh, I just wanted this instead." And I'm like,
Like, what does
"If
that have to
you
do with that?
yeah, like it's just an excuse to say you hate it, but you want to try to hide it behind like, "Oh, I'm actually just interested in this other property more." And it's like, "No, because you've been quiet about it until now and you decided this is the time to attack one property to suddenly say you want a Moon Knight season 2." It just bugged me because I defend Moon Knight, the show. It's not the best. It's definitely not the very comic accurate, but
But
the
Ironheart
fact
is
that
not the
people are
reason there
using
isn't season two.
the fact that people are using it like, oh, like the time that would have been spent making Moon Knight 2 went to Ironheart instead. I'm like, that has nothing to do with each other.
Yeah, like so Marvel dropped the first three episodes of Ironheart this week. That was a controversial decision because these are not 30-minute episodes. These are like 40, 50-minute
They're not.
episodes.
Yeah,
So it's like
I was
so
surprised at how long the third episode was, but
and I did binge watch them all in one sitting. But
ooh, I didn't. I split them up over 3 nights.
that's good. That's probably well how was your experience with that?
It was good. It was good. So I will have one criticism, and I think it's just because of how I'm jaded about storytelling in general sometimes. But the first episode was very heavy on the like getting you caught up with the character, as far as like, oh, it's me, and everyone explaining who they are when they show up. But that happens in every movie where it's
Yeah.
like, oh, it's me, I'm your friend's
Yeah.
brother, that kind of thing. It just felt a little heavy for me,
Hmm.
but that was probably my only real complaint about it. I will say each episode has been better than the last for me at least. And I think it is just kind of getting past those introductory things and like you get into the meat of it the further you go along. So yeah, overall impressions, I really like it. It makes me feel old sometimes.
Right?
But other than that, like the language, I'm like,
Listen,
oh, like this is how people talk. I'm old.
why did I
That's
feel
all
so
it is.
I felt so targeted when the character Joke was on screen. They were calling him old, and they was like, "I'm only
I'm
36." I'm like, "I'm
36.
36."
I thought about that as soon as the intro when you were like, I'm 36. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, ooh. Yeah, that's I thought that was funny actually. So yeah, there is that bit of like, I mean, people are going to be complaining about the language used in it anyway, because yeah, people are going to be racist about that. But a lot of it is just like also younger people. So it's yeah, I think it's really good. Like I said, by the third episode, I was pretty heavily invested, and that the third episode is like 50. minutes or so, and that one breezes by. Like each episode feels like, oh, I wanted more from it. So good stuff.
I agree. Like I really enjoyed the first three episodes. Like I binged it. I guess mostly because I didn't want to be spoiled. Because I know everyone online is talking
I
about.
yeah, I
Um,
got spoilers
mhm.
because I waited only 3 days. I already had spoilers for the third episode, but
But without spoiling anything, I'll just say like I really want to shout out the cast. Like Dominique Thorne is doing amazing. Headlining this is her moment. She has seized it. I want everyone to support her because she's doing such a great job. Um, and then the rest of the cast is amazing too. Like you got Anthony Ramos as the Hood. Like I've enjoyed a lot of Anthony Ramos stuff, like from Hamilton to um,
I see. I
In the
wasn't as
Heights.
exposed to him. I had only seen him in Twisters,
Oh, Twisters.
and
Yeah.
I wasn't super impressed with him there. As but then in this, I'm like,
See,
oh no, he's good.
he's got. See, Twister did not let him have swagger.
They
He was,
really didn't.
but
Yeah,
this
like
one does.
he was very
So.
buttoned up in that. Like literally, his shirt was super buttoned up in that one.
Like he
And
was literally like the like he like in the love triangle he was the guy who wanted the girl but the girl was not into him. Whereas now um everybody seems to be thirsting after him, I
I was
think.
about to say he's people are really liking him.
Like he's the one getting the shirtless scenes and everything.
A
But
lot of them. Yeah,
a lot,
if you want
yeah.
shirtless Anthony Ramos, you
And
have
those
found your
tattoos and
show.
everything. So it's like so I mean I like Anthony Ramos. I like Dominique Thorne. I like Lyric Ross, and shout out to fans of Wendell and Weird. Like she played the main character Kat in
Oh, okay.
that movie that came out a few years ago. But that brings me to my biggest criticism of the show, and this is something that I had reading the comic books as well because it's from the comic books. Um, and the comic books like so we recently did like a book club at Earth's Mightiest Nerds, which is Joe's at multi at Muscles in the Multiverse. He's the one who has he has a Discord that we're both a part of, and you guys are welcome to join too, where we talk about one specific book each month. So this month we did Ironheart, and so we did the 2018 volume by Eve Ewing, and it was great, but that's where the idea of Natalie being her AI comes from. So I guess this might be a spoiler, but it is part of the plot. But it's not really like something that didn't happen in the comics several years ago. But the point is,
True.
I feel like increasingly when I look at the news, the relationship between AI and black people is very, very complicated, controversial, quite harmful, honestly. I see black women on AI being influencers, and people can't tell whether they're real or not. People call it digital blackface or digital minstrelsy, to use some more um, sharper terms. And then on top of that, you've got AI data centers in like Memphis, Tennessee, like harming black neighborhoods because of the energy output and just the environment overall. It's not just harming black people; it's harming everybody. But and the way it's like putting false history out there. So like there's a lot I could go on and on because like I don't want to rant or get on my soapbox, but I'm just saying like I personally struggle with AI and so this storyline having a character who is a black AI character, I don't I don't like that off jump. I like that the story does address it and that the characters are having different feelings about it. Like Ironheart herself is not like Riri is not comfortable with it. Like she feels like she's kind of like done something she didn't plan to do, and she's trying to hide Natalie from everybody. And then but Natalie has experience with Riri's mom, which is interesting. I don't know if that felt true to life because
Yeah, I thought that was too like easy almost. Like
yeah,
I to me that seemed like it would be a very traumatic experience.
I mean
But
I
I guess that's just how that character reacted.
right.
So
Like I will say that we are seeing mixed responses to AI right now in this day and age because like I did see a lot of comments online. Everybody's like, "We love Natalie. She's the standout character." And I'm like, "Well, maybe what you really love is Lyric Ross's performance
I think that's a lot of what it
because if
is.
Natalie was like an AI, she would not have the
The
charisma or the
personality.
reality. Or
Yeah.
yeah. So it's like and on top of that, like I lost my dad in 2022. If I like if I saw AI resurrection of my father, I would not be happy. I would not want my mom interacting with that. I don't think she'd be happy either. I don't think my dad would be happy with being recreated without his consent. Like AI wasn't a thing
Yeah,
in
it's a yeah, I
2022
was about
that
to
we
say
were
it's a
worried
really
about.
big discussion.
So yeah,
Like yeah, I remember when the Flash movie came out and they had
mhm,
recreated
mhm,
uh
Christopher Reeves. Right now,
it's
Disney
just yeah,
and SAG-AFTRA is suing. I think like the company who made Fortnite because they put Charles they put James Earl Jones's voice as Darth Vader in there, and like
used AI to
he did agree to like let his voice be used, but like it's a whole complicated thing, and
gotcha.
he's
But
not
they're
the only
training
example.
things on it, not using his actual voice samples. Yeah,
Hmm.
that's yeah.
So
So I saw someone point out that like I haven't seen a lot of discussion about the fact that it's AI and everything in there. And the thing that made me realize I didn't see it pointed out was Fantastic Frankie, who I brought up earlier, was like it's too bad all of the conversations are about like crime when there could be a really good conversation about
yeah,
AI. And I
I
was
saw
like,
that
you're
post. I
absolutely
liked it
right
too because
because
like
it's getting lost in people just attacking the show for who's in it
right, and
when
so
there's
like
some really interesting conversations that could be happening. Sorry.
absolutely like we like we can critique the show without hate bombing it. Like I like the show, but I do have this critique. But
Yeah, that's
but um but there's no room to really talk about that because there's so much like other racist negativity, sexist
well,
negativity
and
going on
you
around
kind
it.
of don't want to share another negative opinion, even if it's
Hmm.
like a valid one, because you're like, well, I'm just adding to the snowball effect of everyone hating it. But it's like you should be able to have things that like, oh, this didn't land right with me. It's just hard to even talk about that because like I don't want to contribute to negativity.
Hmm.
But
Yeah,
I'll point out what I don't like and
yeah.
what I do like.
And I'm one of the first people who like as much as I love Marvel, I also will critique them like on every project. Like
If
there's
that's if you care about something, you want
yeah,
what's best for the property.
and
So like, yeah.
like that's what James Baldwin said. Like I critique America because I love America. I am an American. Like I this is like
Be what it
this is
can be.
this is what
Like,
it means. So, um, but that said, you know, overall, it's a great show. The cast is doing great. I also want to shout out just like all the Hoods crew. You got Shea Coulee as Slug. You got a couple other people in there. Like they reminded me of the Runaways, to be honest. Like their whole little vibe of being like anti-author,
they're fun.
anti-authoritarian. Yeah, like on the run kind of. It was an interesting little mix of people and very diverse, very like
Oh, I know
again,
people are going to be mad about how
yeah.
diverse the thing is, but I'm like, if it's a group that is together because they're being overlooked, it's going to be that kind of group. Like,
I saw somebody on YouTube
oh,
there with clickbait like mad because Slug is different than Slug was in the comics. I'm like,
no one
nobody was
cares
asking
about
for
Slug in the
Slug.
comics. Yeah, like no
Nobody was
one would
looking for
care.
Slug in the MCU. And so for them to
Uh,
do their own thing with it is fine with me, but I mean, there's always going to be these debates, um, but representation does matter, and we see this because you know when the white people aren't included, like when the white men aren't included, some of them are getting real mad about it. So it's like,
yeah,
so like for people who have a history of not being included, like we're kind of used to it, but also, you know, we are seeing more inclusivity, but we're also at a time where there's a lot of pushback. So, um,
yeah. Man, we will need another episode just in
yeah,
general to talk about different themes
that's
in
good because
Ironheart.
then we can finish the series. Next week we got 3 more episodes to
Exactly.
finish
We've
it.
got the time. One of the things, without getting too far on this tangent, it'll be what we talk about in the next one. But I think there's a very interesting conversation right now with superheroes and the law.
Yeah.
There's this really, this is actually more on a Superman tangent a little bit.
Okay.
But I've been seeing a lot about both like, oh, like the worst statement I've seen so far was that Superman would be helping ICE because it would be following the law. And I think the big hang up here, yeah, is that people are stuck between like law and morality, and some people think those are the exact same thing. It's like, no, Superman would do the right thing, which is not the lawful thing in some cases.
Like
Like,
there are several examples I could point to from the comics and the
where he
shows where
wouldn't,
Superman
yeah,
is like, and like Superman recognized that he's an illegal alien, and that his
Yeah,
parents have harbored him illegally his whole life, and
yeah,
so he
but with
stands with illegal aliens.
with Ironheart, it's another thing where they're like, oh, like she can't be a hero because, there's
He's a
she's
criminal.
broken the law. Yeah, I'm like,
Like the criminal to hero arc is like an old trope.
yeah, and
Almost
it's like
everybody.
clearly she's learning from it. Like you're not looking past the
Yes.
fact that like yes, this is part of the journey. It's really frustrating and like
Yeah.
yeah, after these episodes passed, we'll see
Hmm.
how they handle it, but I'm like it's clearly an arc. Like
Yes.
are you unfamiliar with storytelling people? Like this
Yeah.
is how it happens.
Thankfully, I have seen people with sense pointing out like how many other MCU people are criminals or
Absolutely.
war criminals or all kinds of things that are terrible, but but they're still considered heroes. And so it's like if y'all are only going to criticize Riri and not criticize the Tony Starks,
Then
the
it looks like
Lokis,
there's a reason. Like
exactly. Um,
huh.
but yeah, let's not get too
Yeah, I was
heated.
about to say I definitely want to talk about that later.
Let's
And
continue this
yeah, with more
conversation. Let's end
people.
on a positive note. Like we enjoyed the
Yes.
first three, three more to
Loved it.
come. Um, and yeah, everybody should tune in and also hopefully join us on the next discussion. The more the
Please do.
merrier. And yeah, thank you, Claude, for joining me today. I really appreciate you being
Absolutely.
here. Uh, let's see. Thank you, everyone who's listened this far. Again, give us your feedback. Feel free to give us a like, maybe subscribe. That would be great. But the most important thing, if I ask you for anything, I just really want you to be a part of what we're doing here. Like um, if anyone wants to join the Zoom, that would make me so happy just because I just love talking to other people in long form. Like on social media, we get to have like little bite-sized conversations.
Yeah, without the like without being able to contextualize, without
Yeah.
seeing how they're presenting it, I
Yeah.
think it's just good to face sometimes. So
Yes, absolutely. So that's what this is all about. Growing the community of comic book nerds and just having chats like as if we were in an actual comic book store or maybe we can't always go to the comic book store. So let's do it online. Why not? Um, but yeah, Claude, where can people find you?
oh, people can find me on Threads at curlyinsaneguy. I'm also, to a lesser extent, on Instagram and then on Twitch. Right now, my schedule's a little out of whack because I am in the middle of getting ready for a move. So my times are going to be all over the place. But eventually, I will have a set schedule. So go ahead and give a follow anyway. So whenever I'm on, you'll see me.
All right, good luck with the move and oops, sorry. And yeah, you can also find me mostly on Threads and Blue Sky. Um, should I go somewhere else? Let me know. I did start a Twitch so I could hang out with Claude over there. But do you want to see more DMVCBN content over there? Let us know. Um, or anywhere else that's popping. I mean, I'm not going back to Twitter, X, whatever it is. Sorry.
Never. I'm good.
But other than that, I'm open to suggestions. So, um, until next time, my friends, Excelsior! Bye bye.